What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Sunday Watches. We have a lot going on this week with the whole Iran situation. And so let's get right into the watch list. Starting off with the data that we have coming out, we have PMI on Monday, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard. And then we have, again, PMI on Wednesday, 6:45 a.m. Pacific Standard. And then on Friday, we have non-farm payrolls. First Friday of every month, we've got non-farm payrolls. So that's going to be a big event too. Be on watch for it as well. Getting right into the charts, guys, we'll start off with SPY and QQQ. As you guys can see, just a whole lot of consolidation for weeks and weeks and weeks. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 or more weeks, we have just been in here. And so the game plan has been the same for the past few weeks, but we're trying to get out of this range. In order for us to get out of the range, we do need to take out these lows. We need to take out the 680s to the 676s. Okay, we need to take out these lows in order for us to go lower. If we can take out 676, that is where we pretty much have nothing but room to 669.6 to 671.5. That will be our next zone that we can watch for. And honestly, if it gets aggressive under that, I could definitely see us pushing to that next zone. So under 676, if we continue to hold, room to the upside would be above 689.9. Okay, 689.9 will get us into 695. That's trading in the middle of the range though. And of course, if we get above the top of the range and, really above like 698s, 700s almost. But for now, we're going to watch these areas here. We'll see what happens with everything. Probably going to gap down lower. So if we open up in demand, you could look for a bounce here as well. It just depends where we open up at, but that's going to be SPY chart. QQ very similar for the past couple of weeks. We've just been, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like more than 10 weeks, like as well, right? We've literally just been sideways. And so the main thing that I want to keep a close eye on here is this major level of demand down here at the 600s, 600s to 601s, as you can see. This is the area down here, like 599 actually. It's like that 599, 600 area. Under that gets us to the 593s, and then the major support's going to be here in the 590s. And so we could also even have this trend line from this low to this low to that low. We start getting under 599, guys. That's pretty much 594s, like I said, 594s and 590s. Under that, that's where it gets aggressive to this major demand down here. I could potentially see us getting down there. That would be an area I'd be interested in picking up the dip just based off of how respected it's been in the past. So this would be a good area to pick up the dip if we happen to get there. So it recovers quick from that area. Anything under that, it gets aggressive. But for now, I mean, we're working with the range. For the upside, we need above 616.7, and that will get us to 628. So I will not be interested in upside unless we reclaim the 616, or downside under the 600 will push us lower. Now, I swung some gold, more so for technical reasons. As you guys can see, I'm going to delete all this. We've just been on an uptrend on gold and it consolidated for quite some time. And we finally broke out of this high here, right? This was a big resistance, the 51.17. We broke above it, created a higher low, and just continued to hold higher lows. And on Friday, I started to see us break out of this. And so I took some longs and based with, unfortunately, the whole Iran situation, people go to gold for for safety. People run to safety when there's war happening. And so gold retests of 52.62 could be a good bounce area for retests. But I mean, pretty much this could start having room back to the 5400s, maybe all-time highs, but I'm targeting like these areas up here. We'll see if we can get to those areas. I'm already in this. So something to just continue to keep an eye on. Going into some individual names, I will be keeping a close eye on NVIDIA and AMD. As you can see, NVIDIA's demand right here it's a very significant demand, the 178, 179. And it was very weak after earnings, and it looks like it has room for continuation. So under or a clean break and hold or any type of retest of the 179 and we stay under, we'll look for moves into 170s, 173s, 170s. But another scenario here is if it does reclaim, right? If this does reclaim like this and it gets us to the 185s, that's another opportunity as well. So we just have to wait for this zone and wait for clarity at the zone. I think a setup that I like a little bit even more is the AMD because we just failed to get above that 219. We didn't go for the upper gap fill, failed it again, and here we are at the lows. But every time we get to these lows, we hold the 195, the 195, the 195. 195 even back here. But if we can break and hold under 195, guys, that is where the gap fill starts to 186 and 172. Could be with time. Definitely want to wait for some confirmation so that we don't get trapped down here. Next thing you know, we're back at 218. And so it's important to wait for confirmation. Otherwise, you'll get horrible entries on this. So make sure you get clean break and holds. If you start to see it hold, you could also capitalize on that as well. Now there's some names that are a little bit more on the relative strength side of things. Amazon's been like in this range for quite some time, but it is at supply, but definitely does have that gap to fill. It's creating higher lows here and here. And I want to see if we do take out that 212. Same thing I was on watch last week. If we could, then if the market shows some type of strength, this could be a good name. But if it doesn't and it takes out the recent low at 205, the 203s, it's going back down to the bottom of the range. So open-minded to that as well. For the most part, another name that I really like for this week is PLTR. I was able to capitalize on this on Thursday. And I could see this pushing back to like 145s, 148s. Now, the reason why is because we failed to make a lower low here at 127. And on the 4 hour, we're kind of like breaking out of these lower highs, lower highs. This is a trade I capitalized on Thursday. I took calls to the upside, just a quick scalp, but honestly, it still looks good for a swing as long as we hold these higher lows here at the 132s and the 134s. Then we have room to 140, 146. And so it's something that I'll definitely be keeping an eye on. Also, unfortunately, with the whole Iran thing, this, sometimes reacts positively to war news. And so it could be a name worth watching. Personally, I don't like capitalizing on stuff that has to do with war and like because then you're just thinking like I don't know, it's just a weird feeling. But that's gonna be my overall watch list. Last but not least, Google. Google's at a very key level of demand. Um, but it's at a supply right now and it's rejecting. But if it reclaims, we'll look for upside. If it stays under, looking for the 302s. The other names I do like a little bit more though, SPY, Qs, Gold, PLTR, and actually Tesla doesn't look too bad either. We'll keep an eye on Tesla under 397. It's still on a downtrend, gets us to 387. But other than that, guys, if you guys have been watching, or for anyone who has the Market Mastery Blueprint, I'm updating it. Literally, is going to be uploaded tomorrow. So March 1st, the updated version of the Market Mastery Blueprint will be uploaded for those who already have access to it. For those who don't, I'm going to drop the link in the description. I updated multiple videos and honestly, just so much value in there. So I know it's going to help a lot of you guys. And I appreciate everyone who does have the blueprint because since 2023, I still have people telling me to this day that some of you guys still watch it. So that's crazy. So, I appreciate you guys and I had to update it for you guys to make sure that we're on top of the markets even as time goes by and I get better and better, I want to share that information with you guys. And also, I'm also going to leave my Alpha Futures discount code in the description for those of you guys who trade futures and want to capitalize on some of the volatility this week. You guys can use the code in the description and I hope you guys all have a safe trading week and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.